I'll send it to your WhatsApp.
I'm not going to use it.
The one that
it looked as if it was impossible. But given God factor, every day it became so clear and getting clearer. 9 out of every 10 said, it was not possible. What are you talking about? So the lesson is, it is possible.
This product of your company, the word that came out of my mouth was awesome. Awesome because that has always been the missing link to sports in Nigeria. Sports has great potential, particularly for a country of multitude of young people in millions. What has been lacking is the institutional framework and the funding to develop talent, to promote talent, and to put them in a position to compete both locally and internationally. And so this idea is fantastic. There's so much room to develop sports, so much room to tap into the wealth buried in sports.
The major gap that exists in sport in the country is primarily funding, of course infrastructure, which directly relates to funding, because we have National League, especially in football, where we had some of those clubs go 50 or more years, some as old as the country really, but because of the bane of funding, it has become quite challenging. So I think that gap needs to be filled by the private sector, whether via sponsorship or fundraising that would necessitate investment in sporting activities across the country.
Truly fantastic, innovative, creative, and it's going to then enhance sports overall, but particularly football. Football, nearly forever, at least since I can ever remember from when I was born, has been like our national sports.
It's has gone! What a goal! Shooting stars have had Samuel Ayeride. That's the man who's broken the deadlock.
Well, it's been a fantastic one, and I know that when we started, a lot of people did not give us a chance of getting this far. But with the strategic partnership of GTI, the NFF boss, we have a very seamless, synergy to bring to bring the game to what it is today.
So IMC have tried a lot. We can see even before the commencement of the league, they gave all the teams a take-up grant.
The quality of the league I must say is good enough.
One little drops they say make an ocean, and when you see a step in the right direction, it's also good to call it out and commend the people that do that. So let me start by saying that with this new management, the interim management committee, I have seen the willingness, the will to do things differently.
The season has been an amazing one, and I think the light at the end of the tunnel that we've been looking for has finally arrived.
One of the things that impressed me the most about the IMC is that they've actually given us something to cheer. Like we have the Super 6 on TV, which is the first time in a long while we're having the league back on TV.
Another major improvement I've seen is the involvement of international community in this. I've seen photographers who would normally not want to come, but they said that they are working for international bodies to tell stories that are hardly told in the Nigerian Professional Football League, and also involvement in terms of expatriates actually coming down to Lagos just to document the story of the league.
In the bank. I want to say, pass is good. And Boma! He's primed for this visit, primed for this moment. A brace for Chijioke Boma.
I think I'm very excited
excited and happy for the level where we have gotten so far.
Presently now, the league don't change. No be home must win, no day again. That one now, na something we be say they give me joy. The officiating now, super.
Right now, any team, any coach that's going for a game is 50-50 game, and that is what makes football, and that is so good.
There is improvement in all aspects.
I've spoken to a number of players over the season, even coaches, and every single one of them have mentioned the same thing. No exception. No exception. They have all mentioned the same thing. The standard of the field is better. So now we're seeing more away goals happening in the league. And again, if someone outside of Nigeria is listening to this, they'll be like, what's she talking about? But for those of us here, we know what that means. It's massive to see that every single match day, more match days than not, we saw that. So it's improved.
We have formulated a world-class team, mainly in Nigeria, Nigerians, and we have also a world-class team across in Europe to deliver this pioneering project. So what are we providing? Let's get to the crux of it. Live stream of your MPFL games for next season on your own OTT platform via your mobile devices and laptops, called MPFL Live, powered by GTI and Propel. The tech. So we've and a Middle Eastern company, and ITV Africa. They are the world's leading AI technology companies. First time in Africa to do this. First time in the world, as Ed quite rightly pointed, to do this. It is really a watershed moment in Nigerian sport. And we are only the catalyst for progress.
I'm making a pledge on behalf of all football-loving Nigerians that this league can only but grow quantumly beyond our comprehension, and we all should come behind it and support it. Let's put more money to this league.
The quality and the officiating of the league this year have been wonderful, have been so good, and I think it's time for people to now come out. I mean, corporate bodies to start sponsoring our league. I bet you will get all the mileage that will calculate if you do that.
I can only appeal to corporate Nigeria to come and support what we're doing here, because I mean, all it takes is for a bit more money to be in the game, then we can compete favorably with other countries in the game of football on the African continent.
What we've been able to do with GTI, our strategic partners, economic partners, is what has resulted in what is happening here today. Okay, and I think that with more of our private sectors buying into this vision, Nigerian football come next season will be something, up there.
But especially from the perspective of the fact that you will be contributing to society in a big way, because the returns when it comes to making a difference to the youths across board is just going to be unimaginable.
What I can say to any sponsor that's listening to me now is this: if we have a viable league, I will make money, the players will make money, and your products will sell. So it's on all of us to make sure that the league is invested in. That's it.
At first, it looked as if it was impossible. But given God factor, every day it became so clear and getting clearer. 9 out of every 10 said, it was not possible. What are you talking about? So the lesson is, it is possible.
This product of your company, the word that came out of my mouth was awesome. Awesome because that has always been the missing link to sports in Nigeria. Sports has great potential, particularly for a country of multitude of young people in millions. What has been lacking is the institutional framework and the funding to develop talent, to promote talent, and to put them in a position to compete both locally and internationally. And so this idea is fantastic. There's so much room to develop sports, so much room to tap into the wealth buried in sports.
The major gap that exists in sport in the country is primarily funding, of course, infrastructure, which directly relates to funding, because we have National League, especially in football, where we had some of those clubs go 50 or more years, some as old as the country, really. But because of the bane of funding, it has become quite challenging. So I think that gap needs to be filled by the private sector, whether via sponsorship or fundraising that would necessitate investment in sporting activities across the country.
Truly fantastic, innovative, creative, and it's going to then enhance sports overall, but particularly football. Football, nearly forever, at least since I can ever remember from when I was born, has been like our national sports.
It's has gone! What a goal! Shooting stars have had Samba Ayuride. That's the man who's broken the deadlock.
Well, it's been a fantastic one, and I know that when we started, a lot of people did not give us a chance of getting this far. But with the strategic partnership of GTI, the NFF boss, we'll have a very seamless, synergy to bring to bring the game to what it is today.
So IMC have tried a lot. We can see even before the commencement of the league, they gave all the teams a take-up grant.
The quality of the league I must say is good enough.
Wanting to drop the same notion, and when you see a step in the right direction, it's also good to call it out and commend the people that do that. So let me start by saying that with this new management, the interim management committee, I have seen the willingness, the will to do things differently.
The season has been an amazing one, and I think the light at the end of the tunnel that we've been looking for has finally arrived.
One of the things that impressed me the most about the IMC is that they've actually given us something to cheer. Like we have the Super 6 on TV, which is the first time in a long while we're having the league back on TV.
Another major improvement I've seen is the involvement of international community in this. I've seen photographers who would normally not want to come, but they said that they are working for international bodies to tell stories that are hardly told in the Nigerian Professional Football League, and also involvement in terms of expatriates actually coming down to Lagos just to document the story of the league.
In the bank. Now I say his pass is good. And Boma! He's primed for this visit, primed for this moment. A brace for Chijoke Boma.
I think I'm very excited and happy for the level where we have gotten so far.
Presently now, the league don't change. No be home must win, no day again. That one now, na something we be say they give me joy. The officiating now, super.
Right now, any team, any coach that's going for a game is 50-50 game, and that is what makes football, and that is so good.
there is improvement in all aspects.
I've spoken to a number of players over the season, even coaches, and every single one of them have mentioned the same thing, no exception, no exception. They have all mentioned the same thing. The standard of refereeing is better. So now we're seeing more away goals happening in the league. And again, if someone outside of Nigeria is listening to this, they'll be like, what's she talking about? But for those of us here, we know what that means. It's massive to see that every single match day, more match days than not, we saw that. So it's improved.
We have formulated a world-class team, mainly in Nigeria, Nigerians, and we have also a world-class team across in Europe to deliver this pioneering project. So what are we providing? Let's get to the crux of it. Live stream of your MPFL games for next season on your own OTT platform via your mobile devices and laptops. Called MPFL Live, powered by a Middle Eastern company, and ITV Africa. They are the world's leading AI technology companies. First time in Africa to do this. First time in the world, as Ed quite rightly pointed, to do this. It is really a watershed moment.
I'm making a pledge on behalf of all football-loving Nigerians that this league can only but grow quantumly beyond our comprehension, and we all should come behind it and support it. Let's put more money to this league.
The quality and the officiating of the league this year has been wonderful, have been so good, just sponsoring our league. I bet you will get all the mileage that will calculate if you do that.
I can only appeal to corporate Nigeria to come and support what we're doing here, because I mean, all it takes is for a big moment that the game of football on the African continent.
What we've been able to do with GTI, our strategic partners, economic partners, is what has resulted in what is happening here today. Okay, and I think that with more of our private sectors buying into this vision, Nigerian football come next season will be something, up there.
But especially from the perspective of the fact that you will be contributing to society in a big way, because the returns when it comes to making a difference to the youths across board is just going to be unimaginable.
What I can say to any sponsor that's listening to me now is this. If we have a viable league, I will make money, the players will make money, and your products will sell. So it's on all of us to make sure that the league is invested in. That's it.
At first, it looked as if it was impossible. But given God factor, every day it became so clear and getting clearer. 9 out of every 10 said, it was not possible. What are you talking about? So the lesson is, it is possible.
This product of your company, the word that came out of my mouth was awesome. Awesome because that has always been the missing link to sports in Nigeria. Sports has great potential, particularly for a country of multitude of young people in millions. What has been lacking is the institutional framework and the funding to develop talent, to promote talent, and to put them in a position to compete both locally and internationally. And so this idea is fantastic. There's so much room to develop sports, so much room to tap into the wealth buried in sports.
The major gap that exists in sport in the country is primarily funding, of course, infrastructure, which directly relates to funding, because we have National League, especially in football, where we had some of those clubs go 50 or more years, some as old as the country, really. But because of the bane of funding, it has become quite challenging. So I think that gap needs to be filled by the private sector, whether via sponsorship or fundraising that would necessitate investment in sporting activities across the country.
Truly fantastic, innovative, creative, and it's going to then enhance sports overall, but particularly football.
Finest citadels of hospitality to around the welcoming and make this huge announcement that will again not only change but as well add to the very reputable standard of sports and football in Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as our entourage arrives, I politely ask that we all stand, arise for the national anthem of the most powerful black nation walking on God's great earth. Everybody on our feet, after the count of 3, 2, 1, we will all sing along the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And after that, we will proceed with this absolutely amazing day for life, for living, for sports in Nigeria, for football in Nigeria, and for humanity at large. Ladies and gentlemen, national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 1, 2, ready, go.
Nigeria's call obey to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
A round of applause for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, please. Everyone, thank you. Please let's take our seat.
The pledge, please.
The pledge.
To be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor. So help me God.
A round of applause for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, please. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, as we're about to commence this very epoch-making day in the tapestry of sports and football in Nigeria, I politely ask that we do so with the ounce of decorum, please. Thank you. I know a day like this will generally and naturally erupt tete-a-tete and chit-chat, but please, it is important that we do well to focus at this time. I will now bring forward the essay media to the Honorable Minister, Lady Diana Mary. Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Honorable Minister, distinguished members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen. My job is easy. I would like to give honor to whom honor is due. Permit me to please do a brief announcement and recognition of the dignitaries who have come with the Honorable Minister of Sports Development. We have himself, a man of utmost decorum, the Honorable Minister of Sports Development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator John Owan Eno, the 36th Minister of Sports, but the first Minister of Sports Development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Shall we please put our hands together for him? We also have the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Sports Development in the person of Mrs. Inuke Wati. Shall we please put our hands together for her? And also we have the President of the Nigerian Football Federation in the person of Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Nusal, who is here present. A round of applause for him, please. And here we have directors of the Federal Ministry of Sports Development. We have the Director of Legal of the Ministry, Mr. Gregory Fulus Z. A round of applause, please. Not too far is the Director of Press and Public Relations, Ministry of Sports Development, Mrs. Kehinde Ajayi. A round of applause for her. And the Honorable Minister is here with his assistants. We have a Special Advisor and Consultant to the Honorable Minister, Mr. Kenneth Abbas. Shall we please put our hands together for him? And we also have here the SA Strategy, Mr. Orok Efama. Another round of applause for him.
Thank you so very much, my lady Diana Mary. We dearly appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause one more time for the Minister and the entourage entirely. Thank you, everybody on the ITV. A round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so very much, our Minister. We dearly appreciate your gusto, your sense of occasion, and above all, your sense of responsibility at this stage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, speaking of responsibility, the vision is good, but the execution always surpasses vision. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to at this time recognize and make welcome the man in whose company's behest has made financial possibilities very possible for Nigerian football. The man who has encouraged every shred of Nigerians to invest and put their money where the mouth is. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in our midst is the myth, the man, the legend, the GTI GMB, Mr. Abubakar Lawal. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Thank you. We also want to say a very, very big thank you to the gentleman of the most powerful realm and estates in the world, the gentleman of the fourth estate. I see faces of some of the most renowned journalists and sports writers in the world in here. We want to say a very, very big thank you for making today an absolute fruition. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'll politely bring forward for his own welcome address, Mr. Abubakar Lawal, the GTI GMB. Round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to say a very big welcome. My assignment is very easy. To begin with, I would like to recognize the presidency. By virtue of the presidency, I mean the Honorable Minister of Sport, Senator John Eno, for all he has done. Next to the president and to the minister is the permanent secretary. Madam, I thank you very much. The president of NFL, Mr. Buzo, Ibrahim Buzo, thank you for all you've been able to do. And all the other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the gentlemen of the press. Okay, I will start by telling you a very short story of how this journey began. In the year 2010, if I'm correct, that should be about 13, 14 years ago, depending on the month in question. We started the journey by looking at how we can do something for our nation, Nigeria. And sport came very, prominently on the table. And behold, everything was the way it was. And we felt, we knew quite well that nobody was going to do it except if we did. And we started the journey. And the journey started, we tried to put structures together. We did all of that. We got approval of the Securities and Exchange Commission on the supposed structure in 2017. Guess what? It served as the longest instrument that has stayed in SEC for approval. We had to work with 3 director generals to be able to pull this through. Because the thing was, it wasn't possible. It was not going to happen. But we said it was going to happen. And behold, in 2017, we got approval. And the approval was very tight conditions, because it wasn't making too much sense to everybody that time. But we insisted that no, we wouldn't be able to run with this because it would kill the meat of it will kill the essence of the project. We went back to SEC. We spent another 2 years. We got what we wanted in 2019. COVID came in 2020. So we couldn't launch. We waited. We only could launch by 2022 to be precise. March 22nd, 2022 was when we launched. The same day, Alhaji Aliko was launching the fertilizer project in Lagos. We launched, and the journey began. And I cannot say exactly, I won't be able to qualify what has transpired between that March 2022 and today. Well, to cut a long story short, fast track, we went after the biggest asset in Nigeria sports ecosystem. Because the whole project was, we put a structure together, we called it the Nigeria Football Fund. And the Nigeria Football Fund was supposed to be an enabler that will energize the entire sporting assets in Nigeria, namely sport, moving from activity to business. That transition, we needed to manage it very efficiently in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Sport. Everything is falling into place to a point that we even had the national sport policy to support everything we are trying to do. The whole federal government came magnanimous. It was just God sent. I can't explain it. Unprecedentedly, by December 28, 2022, we got the sign-off of the NFF and the MPFL to manage the Nigerian League. Everybody thought we were jokers. December, I remember it was in the night. The same president here, he met with the club owners because they said they were not going to cooperate. A whole lot of things happened because they didn't understand. But behold, today, the narrative is very different. We did it. We over-delivered on all our promises. We delivered. And so, December 2023, 29th, we concluded agreements with the NFF that we are going to take on the FA Cup. And it was like a joke. But at that point, it was easier because we had, made precedent, things that happened in our favor. God has been very kind to us. And the gentlemen here, wonderful people. By January this year, we signed the FA Cup. And as at the time we were signing, it was very clear to us that we can't sign this thing. We had signed it. What are you going to make of it? We put together a structure behind it. And we knew we needed to energize it. And energizing it is why we are here today. If I tell you what has happened between January and now, unprecedented. It's only God that can take the glory. A lot of people, the president, minister, went out of his way 1,000,001 times to ensuring that today is possible. And if you ask me, I'm the happiest man on the planet today because history is here. People tell me about Nigeria that Nigeria is an impossible place. Why are you doing this? Nigeria is an impossible place. They will frustrate you. They will mess you up. Somewhere along the line, this will happen. Let me give you this private gist. I went to Hajj, and I had a meeting with one gentleman. And in the course of that meeting, the meeting lasted for 45 minutes, and he used the word risk 4 times, and he used evil 2 times in that meeting. He said this risk unknowingly 4 times, and that has been the pattern. But guess what? I tell you, if it is your time, Nigeria is the best place under the sun. I have met the most wonderful administrators that Nigeria ever produced. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please join me in giving a round of applause to the minister, senator, these 2 gentlemen, they have moved mountains. I give you practically, Alhaji Ibrahim is supposed not to be in Lagos today. As a matter of fact, he's supposed to be traveling out tonight. But the minister, yesterday, everybody started calling everybody. And behold, this event is holding. I'm grateful to everyone here physically present. I'm grateful to people that are here with us in spirit that are not able to make it here. And I'm grateful to the directors of GTI. I'm grateful to Nigerians that believed in us to have put money in this project. I'm very grateful to the city gentlemen, the pressmen that have always supported us. On that note, I say a very big thank you. You are welcome. I'm not going to mention my wife. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, gone are those days when they say that behind the successful women are not behind. They've never been behind. They've been in front, they've been beside and around. Amazing family, the GTI family. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the balancing words of William Shakespeare, one of the greatest men to ever live, he said, and I quote, "Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and to some, greatness is thrusted upon them." Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next person on my list to come have his speech at this time is a man that exudes nothing but greatness. He's a man who is and the top echelon of powers as regards the most powerful football fraternity in Nigeria, maybe in Africa, if you dare say. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just like you said earlier, from my boss, the GMD boss, Mr. Abubakar Lawali, did mention that this man was supposed to be on the flight, but due to his zeal, due to the fact that there's a need to get things done, and of course by the loveliness of our Honorable Minister, he made this possible altogether. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, it's a lifetime privilege for us to be here on a day like this, that history is being made in Nigeria. It would also be nice to make this man feel very much welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, our own NFF President, Alhaji Ibrahim Gusso. Good morning, sir. Please step forward for a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Sports Development, Permanent Secretary, GMD, GTI, all other protocol duly observed. My brothers, members of the press, I must say, Abubakar has already said it earlier. He is the happiest man today, on earth today. But I think I will turn him back to tell him I must stay and the most happiest man. Because he is the one that comes to knock to our door to see how he can support us in order to achieve greatness as far as possible and state is concerned in this country. And I must say, we are all happy to be here. As they said, I was not being prepared to be here today, but due to the importance of it and the Honorable Minister also have some other engagements that could not make it possible for us to postpone it today. I try as much as possible to see that right from the airport I'm here with you now. I don't need to say much. Abubakar has said it all. When he met us, sometimes at the end of 2022, to come with his initiatives of this is what he's going to do for Nigerian football, especially the Premier League. And all of us here, especially you the members of the press, we know the situation we find ourselves as far as football is concerned. The Premier League, we're in a very serious situation in such a way that for a good 3 years, or 3 seasons I can say, we just play football. We are just saying that we are playing a league, but we can't tell anybody what we are playing. In a situation whereby you send people to go and work for you, from the area of match officials and whatever, and then they start counting debts. You don't even pay them. So many things happen. But to God be the glory. When Abubakar knocked to our door, I tried to engage the clubs. The story now is a past tense, but we all know what we go through. Because in the first instance, nobody is ready to believe in what they were saying. But I tried to make myself available to meet Abubakar in their office. I say, I want to come to your office. I sat down for almost 4 hours. I say, I want you to tell me A to Z what you intend to do, how you intend to do it, and how we're going to achieve it. I'll give you my time. And I sat down with them for 4 hours in their office. They make the presentation. When I feel that I'm fully convinced, so I said the next job for me is to make sure that I try to make these people understand that we really have to go this way, and we must go this way. So it took me a long time to see how I can convince them. Then finally, we come to an agreement. We sign an agreement with them. As Abubakar said, now it's a story. For all of us here, especially those of us in the media, they know that at least there is some significant improvement than what we used to see some 3, 4, 5 years back. And I want to assure you that a lot of improvement is going on as far as the league is concerned. Also, about 3, 4 months ago, he met me also to say, this Federation Cup, we understand that it's the most glamorous tournament that will happen anywhere in the world, not only in Nigeria. If you go to England, it's only in every cup that every single club can have the privilege to participate. That's why we call it to be the most glamorous tournament. That every single club or every single team that calls himself to be a team has the opportunity, can have the opportunity to participate, and will have an equal opportunity with any other club. So I say yes, we started, and it is also with some challenges this time around on the side of my board members, but I still try to sit down with them to make sure that at least they understand where we're going. And at the end of the day, they gave me the go-ahead to make sure that I go into this relationship. Then we sign the relationship. The next thing is GTI has to start looking other ways. Where we the most way we follow to see how we can make up to achieve what we want to achieve. Then the next thing is start talking about trying to see how we can rebrand the name so that it can bring the desired objective for us. And then it goes to talk about, let's start by naming it as the President's Cup. Then finally I told them now we are only going to make it to the President's Federation's Cup. Just as you can hear in the UK or some other places, they say Everett FA Cup. That federation must be, and we all agreed on that. And the minister is working very hard to ensure that this thing succeeds. And part of what we are doing is this, to ensure that we inform Nigerians where we are going and how we intend to go about it. And by the grace of God, we have just started. Yesterday, the draw squad run of 64 was conducted. And if you look at the draws, you see a lot of things. Even in Lagos here, we have the greatest surprise of it. Sporting Lagos were edged out by a National League club. Just to tell you how Federation Cup works. So we are moving, and GTI has started fulfilling their promises. In the Federation Cup, there's no more going to be any issue of we are going for this, there's no money for that. When it gets to, I think, around quarterfinals, no club or no team will take care of anything as far as participation is concerned. All your expenses will be taken care of. They will provide them with the that's money which is extremely good for everybody to talk about, to start with. And by the grace of God, with what they are planning in collaboration with NFF and the ministry, in the very nearest future, clubs will surely want to participate in the Federation's Cup because they know the price enough, the price money alone will be enough for them to have a very good build-up for their teams. So I must, on this note, thank the Honourable Minister for his giant stride in encouraging whatever initiative will come up with. And when you look at it and see that it's something that is going to add value to football, he always supports us. And that's why you see how committed he is. We are here. We have to take almost 1 hour here waiting for me to arrive, for this thing to happen. Honourable Minister, I just want to thank you very much on behalf of the stakeholders and we continue to give you all the necessary support so that at the end of the day, during our own tenure, because me and you were all standing on tenure. Although my own is something else, but tomorrow I can hear that they have taken away my minister to somewhere else. But I hope we continue there with us so that we get the glory together at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Alhaji Ibrahim Boso. We appreciate you, we appreciate your time, and above all, we appreciate your effort. Ladies and gentlemen, he did mention some very salient things. One of such is the fact that the glory of the FA Cup is unrivaled anywhere in the world. In Japan, it's the Emperor's Cup. It's Copa do Brasil, it's Coupe de France in France. It's important in every part. And the fact that every club comes from the whole federation, and indeed that right there is one of the beauty. And I also want to say a very big thank you to the minister. I learned a life lesson here today, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't get the honor of introducing myself. I think I was caught up in introducing the people in the entourage. I stand before you very honored, very privileged to be your host of this great epoch-making day. My name is Babajide Guerrero. I'm a multiple-time international award-winning master of ceremonies. I'm the absolute best at what I do, and I'm one of the greatest to ever do this. So when I came in here at about 8:45, 9 p.m., and my minister said, I'm going to say this line, I will see you later. When I see you later, you will know what I mean. It is between you and I. Yes, and nobody, I think one other person knows as well. Okay, Mr. Nelson knows as well. Right, yes. When I came in earlier today, ladies and gentlemen, it's a life lesson. As a master of ceremonies, this is what I chose to do for my life. And I'm not just one who just decided to, this is what I've always wanted to do. But sir, you taught me something today, sir, and I will never forget it. That no matter how powerful you are, no matter how wealthy you are in terms of position, you are first a human being. And that's what I learned from him today. He came in here before every other person. And normally, when a minister of that kind of field, when a minister of that kind of sartorial elegance, that kind of grace comes in, you have to start the event. I've hosted many state events before, so I know once the top person on the echelon comes in, you start, even if it is 5 people, you start because it's there. But not this man, not this amazing man. What did he do? He said, you know what, let us wait for the NFF president. So he went there to sit with everyone, delegating on how things can be better. Sir, we want to thank you so much for this honor. It is absolutely unseen. I have not seen it before, and I've hosted so many state events. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have more words from, because again, it's an amazing day for Nigeria. At this time, we'll have more words from, let's call it the remark now, from our permanent secretary of the sport ministry, the amazing Mrs. Tinuke Wati, on morning like this. A round of applause for her. Mrs. Tinuke Wati, thank you so very much, ma'am.
Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Sports Development, the President's NFF, the entire team from GTI, the directors from the ministry, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning all. We are the Federal Ministry of Sport Development. We are very happy to be here because you will agree with me that there can be no meaningful development without partnerships. So we are indeed very happy that this agreement between the ministry and GTI Assets Management and Trust Limited is holding today. We believe that this type of partnership will help the ministry to focus on its primary responsibility of developing sports and providing our young men and women the enabling environment for them to grow their talents. Because this will not only help remove these young ones from crime, but it will also help to contribute to the socio-economic development of the nation. I want to congratulate the NFF, the MPFL, the GTI, and of course the Federal Ministry of Sport Development for making history today as we look forward to more partnerships from other well-meaning Nigerians and corporate bodies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Lady Tinuke Wati, Femsec of the Federal Ministry of Sports. A round of applause again for the lady. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the time that we all have been waiting for. Will it happen? Is it going to happen? Definitely this particular moment is a time that time itself pause for the absolute gate of this man, the absolute class of this man, the absolute leadership of this man. He has stood when standing wasn't easy, and on a day like this, we are here to behold before our own very eyes and make a pronouncement, and above all, continue this amazing leadership of the Ministry of Sport. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the Honorable Minister of Sport for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator John. I'm very pleased to be here this. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Minister. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Sports Development, Mrs. Tinuke Wati, and the Group Managing Director of GTI, Mr. Pudaka Lawal, and other directors present,
the president of Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, Ibrahim Gusau, Director of Legal Services of the Ministry, Mr. Gregory C., Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Mrs. Kennedy Ajayi, ISAs that are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Some months ago, when I was named as Minister of Sports Development, a lot of the reactions from the sports sector can be summarized like, John Who, what's his father's name? It wasn't surprising. I mean, I was no name in the sports sector. But I remember then that my immediate reaction was to say, I didn't need to be a sportsman or sports person to be Minister of Sports Development. And I recall saying, what I've been appointed to do is to provide leadership in a sector that continues to mean so much, but in a sector that is also usually and largely troubled. Some people call it a beleaguered sector. 2, 3, 4 months as sports development minister then, I had some very serious-minded and renowned sports people calling me and asking me, Minister, 4 months after, we've not had a controversy. What is happening? What it meant was that it was very unusual, therefore, to be in this ministry and then there will be no controversies. What we've tried to do is to try to stay above those controversies and provide the leadership that the appointment to the ministry by the president has given us. I listened to the president of NFF and he said one thing. He said he tried to make himself available. What we've tried to do in the Ministry of Sports Development thus far is to make ourselves available. And if you want to succeed and make yourself available, I find you will have to do what? Break protocols. Forget about protocols. And just allow things to work. As difficult as it is, because we've got a structure, we've got a system that would like to resist that. But as they resist that, also continue to insist because you know where you are headed. I mean, oftentimes in the ministry, I'm challenged by some people who tell me, no, you cannot call this person, no. You are too big to call this person. You have to call that person. I'll say what matters to me is whether who I'm calling can get the result that I'm looking for. And that's the kind of leadership we try to provide. I'm glad to be here. I mean, listening and understanding what GTI and the Abubakar have been about. They've been so about football, about all of that. By being here today and my encouragement for this event is also a little bit more deliberate than just the advancement or advancing, the progress and development of football. My hope is that at some other time, at some other event, we are going to describe GTI and define GTI, not just as promoting and developing football, but as promoting and developing Nigerian sports. Very important. I'm Minister of Sports Development, and I preside over several sports federations. And competition after competition, there are some of these sports federations that have continued to do Nigeria proud. We just came back from the African Games. We won about 47 or so gold medals. And we know the sports that won us those medals. If you check, the sports that won us those medals are the sports that have continued to give us medals. That's not to mean that we're not working hard to see how we can promote the other sports. But I'm looking forward and I'm trying to challenge of GTI that it's not just about football, even though it remains the king of our sports, even though it remains the most followed, even though it remains, the sport that galvanizes every Nigerian. We went to AFCON, it was like the whole country was in AFCON. That's what football has continued to be. But in addition, we're a country of about 220 million people. Close to 70% of these are youths. And not everybody is going to be engaged in football. There are several others that are going to be engaged in other sports. And I'd like people and organizations like GTI to see how they can also look at those other sports. And that this engagement, this partnership with GTI for me is just the beginning of my encouragement for them to do more for other sports as well. By the way, let me thank Mr. Abubakar Lawal for the faith in our country. Let me thank him for being so ambitious. Let me thank him. At some point, it's like being crazy. Just a moment ago, before this event started, I won't call his name, but there is a very renowned, serious-minded Nigerian who wondered what GTI was doing, who wondered whether GTI was ever going to recover what it is spending in sports and in football. But GTI knows where they are headed, they know where they are directed. So I'd like to thank him for being audacious. I'd like to thank him for, you would need, they say without venturesomeness, there's nothing that can happen that is remarkable. I'm looking forward to several years away when other companies and agencies would wish that they were at the beginning, just like GTI is. So I thank them. I believe in this country, and I believe that almost everybody who is here also believes in this country. Why not? We're a great people. We're a huge country. We're hugely populated. It's difficult to ignore us. And that's why the projections, project that by 2075, what's going to happen, that Nigeria will be the 5th largest economy in the world. That has been projected. With a GDP of about $13 trillion. I mean, if you're in Nigeria and you're in this room, you must clap for your country. It's important, it's, and I've read quite a lot. I mean, my interest here is on how this endeavor, this engagement can ignite, the interest of the fans in our country again, football fans and our football followers. I can elevate this game and the Challenge Cup, as it's been called, to global standards. And it is important. I mean, year in, year out, there is a tradition about the American Super Bowl. We can emulate that. We can, why not? And we can raise this to national, make it a national football extravaganza. We can. It covers the whole country. I mean, I repeatedly tell the story as a young, growing up Nigerian, when one of those years, Leventis United, playing whether in the 3rd division, or perhaps they were not even in the league division, they won the Challenge Cup. They beat everybody. They beat all comers. They beat souls. I think it's possible for us to get back to that, to elevate this game. I mean, like you've been told, it's been variously called Challenge Cup, Federation Peace, all of that. But we just think that it's possible. One of the challenges that I believe that all football administrators and sports administrators will continue to face and continue to contend with is on how to change that interest amongst Nigerians. Change it and take it away from La Liga, from playing, the English Premiership and all that, back to doing what? Back to our country. I mean, it's a moment ago we were discussing with the one and only Michel Obi, and they were talking about sports and football on TV. I was talking about viewership and spectatorship. I was talking about all of that. And I think that we need to be as serious as we can be to see how we can achieve this. So I'm glad that, coming from where we've come from and watching what GTI has been able to accomplish, that it was easy to get drawn into this by GTI. I'm confident that this collaboration is going to add quite a lot to the interest of government. I mean, for the first time, our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, created a separate Ministry of Sports Development. It's not just a challenge to me, it's a challenge to all sports lovers, challenge of all of us in this room to make it work, to make the President at the end of the day to feel satisfied that he took the right decision. And the only way he can do so is by what steps that we take. The President is not coming to come and run this ministry and this sector for us. This sector will be run by you and by me and by my team. So we need to give it the best that we can. I believe that for the Ministry of Sports, I believe that this collaboration will restore glory, increase viewership, and will breathe new life into the Federation's Cup that is now going to become the President's Federation Cup. Mr. Abubakar and I have extensively discussed leveraging the expertise to invigorate other key federations that I mentioned earlier on. And what GTI has done is to progressively advance with the NPFL, with the NFF, and then today with the Ministry of Sports Development. And I think that they need an applause for that. And I didn't think this should take place quietly in my small office room at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. No. And I thought that every step that we take, you want to use the symbol of the highest office in the land and call it the President Federation Cup. Every step we take will be a serious-minded step. But attach everything to it. I mean, I thank the President of NFF, for believing in football, for believing, for the hard work, for everything he's continued to put in to make sure that the story of our football is different. I mean, and he's told you the circumstances in which it got here. And it was important that given especially those circumstances, that, no matter how much we had to wait, it was important to have him here from the beginning of the event, because it mattered to him to be here. So I thank him. I mean, we're hoping that, this rebranded and this rejuvenated, President Federation Cup, at the end of the day, will be able to provide jobs, employment to more than 500,000 Nigerians and counting. Yeah, it sure will. It sure will. And this national and international football calendar involving grassroots teams creating employment for approximately 500,000 Nigerians. Engaging over 100 million football enthusiasts, rejuvenating talent pipelines, fostering national pride, and showcasing Nigeria's greatness globally. The President Federation's Cup will become President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's legacy, championing Nigerian football. It's important for us. The journey may not have been easy, but I have no doubt in my mind that the future of this journey is excellent. I have no doubt in my mind that everybody sitting in this room today would remember this day as that day that started that great revolution. As that day, I believe, for example, that the last couple of years, the Challenge Cup has occurred without Nigerians even knowing that the Challenge Cup has occurred, is occurring. I mean, this event and this partnership is intended to change all of that. It's intended to increase the interest of Nigerians, increase the followership of Nigerians every step of the way, and get it celebrated. Why not? I mentioned the American Super Bowl. Why not? In the President's Federation Cup, we can also create our own Nigerian equivalent of the American Super Bowl. Thank you.
know, one of the things I noticed when he was going to his seat, the high table stood up for him, but we didn't stand up for him. I think everybody should stand up for him. A round of applause, and he's standing away from our minister. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, one of the beautiful things about my work is that, you know, there's this beauty about holding a microphone and just telling people to do things, but you have to do them. You have to tell them in a level of respect and honor, especially when, you know, in the crowd is some of the country's finest. No, I take that back. Some of the world's finest journalists. My minister have said it all. Your minister have said it all. Our minister have said it all. That we, of course, are the champions. And I like what he said. This is a man who is for the people, and not just by words. He said it. He said, it is your job. It is my job. It is everybody in this room's job. It is my team's job. It's an all-encompassing trip, and we're looking forward to this journey. I've been championed by Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that it is. That is the epoch-making day. The announcement and pronouncement has been made, and we're looking forward to it spiraling up into great things for Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, to dot all I's and cross all T's of this absolutely monumental day for humanity, the next thing on our agenda now will be the signing of the partnership agreement, or you can call it the memorandum of understanding, between the GTI and the sports ministry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, our company secretary, the Imperial Law, would also aid all of this particular activity. It's going to be the most important part of the day, because regardless of who is here, it's important that it is done by the letter, by the law, governing and sovereign ruling of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, this is after our own minister's speech, is the most important part of all of this. The fact that it is signed, sealed, and delivered. That in the annals of law in Nigeria, there will be somewhere stated that pen was put to paper. That we will forever remember today as the day where the FA Cup started, what now? Maybe 1945 now? Changed to Challenge Cup at some point. You know, had what now? Over 70 teams participate, with Shooting Stars of Ibadan, the most prestigious and the most dominant and formidable force of that particular tournament. 7 times I think they've won it. Yeah, with Bendel Insurance now, the defending champion, I think. Right. The Shooting Stars of Ibadan being the top dog in the yard. 7-time champions, I think. Yes, absolutely. 7-time champion, while Bendel Insurance are the defending champion. Bayelsa, as a state, are very proud to be the only state to have had the cup won by both male and female teams, I think. Amazing. In this room are men who are currently shaping the thought of Nigerian football forward, in presence of God and in presence of some of the most outstanding personalities. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you very kindly. The iconic Mr. Olabinjo.
Without paying for advice.
Mr. Olabinjo, we really appreciate it. We thank you, sir. We thank you kindly as well. Second astrologer, I think, here, it's KS, head of the village square. Good to see you, sir. The myth, the man, the icon, the virtuoso Michel Obi. Always a pleasure to see you, sir. Always a pleasure. We thank you very kindly, Permanent Secretary of the Sports Ministry, the amazing Lady Tinuke Wati. We appreciate you kindly. Men putting, and women as well, putting pen to paper, as history will remember it today, the day where Nigeria, we changed what used to be the Federations Cup to the President Federations Cup, which underlines the legacy and underlines the fact that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is absolutely keen in making this one of his many legacies since he assumed office. Ladies and gentlemen, the cameras are rolling, and so also are the tweets going out across the world on X that it is official now, ladies and gentlemen. Right after this, we'll throw the floor open for questions by the gentlemen and women of the press that are here. We will entertain what now? Between 3 to 5 questions. I think 3 is fine. By the discretion, of course, of the gentlemen on the high table. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the GTI GMDs and Wokalawal have signed, as well as my minister, your minister, our minister has also signed. Our permanent secretary has signed, the NFF president has signed, and our friends from Imperial Law, our company secretary, have also signed. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the most important thing we can do now is to give Nigerian football a huge round of applause. Come on, let's go. For this amazing stride. Absolutely lovely. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now we've listened to this astute gentlemen and ladies. They've spoken to us this very fine morning. At this time, it is time for us to throw open the floor for questions. We'll take the question by show of hands. If any of our, thank you sir, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Any more questions? I got 3 already. Is there another one before we go open floor? 4. We could take the last, which is 5. I will take 1 more. Right, but I have 4. Right. So there's a microphone already for the high table. There's another one here. Please kindly state your name. This is already on. My minister, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akim Busari from Superscript Television. First down to commend GTI for this great initiative. I was commending for what you've been doing for Nigerian football, and I hope this will be a very long time partnership. My question is this: we know football is very important to the happy Nigeria, and we are changing the nomenclature. We are changing everything that has to do with the Challenge Cup to become the President Federation Cup. The thing is, are we going to have this on television, which is very important? Because without these games on television, that means we are not doing enough. Thank you.
Right, so I think the high table will note all these questions and take them all at once instead of breaking the flow. I think KS was number 2. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I know that the knockout competitions always have tradition. We've changed names severally. Now, what happens if we have a corporate organization that is interested in the President Federation Cup? Will that corporate organization also have its name attached to it, just like we have the Emirates FA Cup?
Thank you very much, KS. That's 2. I think you're number 4, right? You're number 3. Number 3 is now. Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. I'm getting too old these days. Sorry, sir.
If you're getting old, what some of us will say. Yeah, thank you. I think the Federation's Cup, I don't know how to call it that. I think I would love to start by what we used to know in the Challenge Cup. That one really gave me the charm of knockout football. I think the Federation's Cup must be a very lucky competition. In just 1 year or 4 months or so, we have 2 agreements. First with the Nigerian Football Federation, with GTI, and then secondly with the Sports Ministry. And I want to understand what the dynamics are. Of course, there is the competition which is already on. A draw was made on Thursday, round of 64. And so we are forging ahead to where it matters. As my good friend KS said, there's tradition about this competition. We now have the president behind this competition. That means that the federal government is behind this competition. That means that Nigerians are behind this competition. That means that our money, our budget is going to be behind this competition. Of course, putting our mouth where our money is. I have to really tune that. So I want to find out what exactly the Sports Ministry will be doing in respect of this competition as regards the relationship between Federation, Nigerian Football Federation and GTI, and then of course Sports Ministry representing the Nigerian government and of course the presidency what exactly are the, let's have the, I know the details have the tables, but sometimes it's good for us to clear the air so that Nigerians don't say, we are coming to the President's Cup. We saw it in tennis, it didn't last. We saw the Women's Cup, Buhari Cup, it came, it didn't last. We've seen competitions of this nature that come and just fade off. But this, in print, how long is this partnership? What's the prize money, if there is? And just to keep it within the house, how is the Nigerian sports media going to identify with this competition? Over time, we have been marginalized. So what is at stake for the Nigerian sports media? Thank you.
Everybody is clapping when you hear what is at stake for the Nigerian sports media. That's the only time people clapped. Thank you.
My name is Edebasi Emmanuel from AIT. My question, one has been asked already, so I will go there. The first one is going to be from GTI. Did you go into this with the conviction that you can actually turn it around? Because this competition has been suffering. This should be the most glamorous, but it has not really been able to get to that level of glamour that those who knew it would identify. Do you have the conviction that you have what it takes to turn it around in that respect? And this one to the minister. There's been talk about the sports ecosystem, getting it to fend for itself. Is this partnership part of the fulfillment of that drive? That's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the last and final question. Please note that the minister has several engagements to attend to today, so we'll probably just do this chip chop as fast as possible. But we'll not be taking any other question, and we thank so very much everyone for coming, and of course the minister. The floor now will be open to answers. The microphone is already charged. It will be nice to have these answers to these questions. All 5 of them. 4 of them, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to respond to some of the questions. There is one that is directed to Mr. Abubakar. The first question is having this on TV. We can work as hard as we want to work. We can achieve as much as we want to achieve. But unless our sports and our football is fully on TV, that will count for very little. So just like we're doing this, serious efforts also being made to see how to respond to this. In fact, the Ministry of Sports Development, as quickly as next week, is meeting with the Ministry of Information and all the relevant bodies that are concerned in this subject matter to see how much can be achieved in this regard. I mean, the main concern of that meeting is going to be to try to respond and to try to see, achieve the fact that maybe before by the end of the administration of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that we can get our sports. There are a lot of work would have been done, a lot of mileage would have been covered in this regard. The second question, the name change and all of that, and corporate organization coming and all of that. I'm going to require a comment from the president of NFF. But I'm also going to say this. The name change is also not peculiar to Nigeria alone in terms of the score, in terms of all of this. We read about the Emirates FA Cup. So, but like I said, the president of NFF will be able to throw more light on this. You know, what I can say generally is that, and we all have been sitting in this room, when the president of NFF spoke, he talked so much about how much GTR has had to take a chance in Nigerian football. I mean, other people, other agencies and organizations have also been watching what's been going on, how our football, how our sports have been going down. There is none that has taken the gauntlet the way GTR has. You know, so it's important that when you find an agency with body that has shown seriousness, and that you've seen what it has even done so far, or to implement work in progress with the premiership, I think that this is not out of place. But it's good to be able the president will say more about that. Now, in terms of the budget, the fact that the ministry is here, the fact that it's now the president, coalition cup means that government is here, means that budget is here, means that all of that is here. What I'd like to say immediately is that this partnership, this collaboration is without any expected expenditure from government. I mean, and it relates to the question that was asked by, Kevin Mercy about funding for itself if this collaboration, this initiative is part of, responding to that. If you recall, sometime late last year, December, the president had to intervene, with then it was close to 12 billion. But what I can report to you now is that that money is actually close to 17 billion, at the end of the day, with the various revenues, the exchange rate, and all of that. But they had to intervene. And that intervention was not just on one thing. It had to do with the unpaid salaries of the then Super Eagles coach. It had to do with a lot of the various outstandings out of various competitions by both the female and the male teams of the different categories. This partnership on the Federation Cup, on the Challenge Cup, and this takes off and takes away that burden, from government and by government, and looks forward to the fact that there is someone, there's an agency, there's a body that has shown that it is ready to invest, is ready to spend its money, and at the end of the day, the country is the better for it. All what the collaboration and the involvement of the ministry here, is going to require is, even if it's by way of symbolism, that the president of our country is able, to formally unveil this. That's where it ends. It doesn't require that in the budgets of the country, because it is now called the President Federation Cup. There's going to be a line, a budget line that has to do with funding of the President Federation Cup. It's important to get this clear. What it is that the history behind the Challenge Cup, which is now the President Federation Cup, dating back to about 1945 or thereabout. It has a rich history. It's supposed to have a rich followership involving every club. I mean, if you look at the nationwide league that I understand has close to 300 or so, football clubs. We're talking about, other leagues and all of that. that a competition, that a tournament that is as involving, that is as comprehensive, that is as engaging, that's supposed to be taking place across the nooks and crannies of the country, that tournament needs something that can galvanize it, that can bolster it, that can get back interest of Nigerians. And if that getting back is found to be in terms of the symbolic office, the highest office in the land, why not? And it has not been called, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Federation Cup. No. Just so for sustainability is the office, highest office in the land. Whether it is the next 8 years, beyond that, it remains the President Federation Cup. And though, it's, the ministry is promoting what we call sports as business. In 2022, a policy was adopted by the Federal Executive Council that, adopted the National Sports Industry Policy. So what it is, without prejudice to what, what has been signed here, I think that various sponsorships are not, sponsorships are never open-ended. What is important is going forward, what becomes more and more attractive, offers that come, what are the new things that are being offered and all of that. And if GTI continues to be the most competitive, why not? But I just thought I should make this clarification. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Responding to your question directly, you asked if DTI has what it takes or something to be able to say this true. Well, let me just say this, that there is a template we are trying to run by, and it's very simple. It's evident if you have been following the national football scene, you will have seen what we have been able to do with the Premier League. And we are just going to replicate that with a bit of flavor that's going to show the template is there already. We are going to say it true. Just have faith and do your own bit. Thank you.
I think I'm only going to talk about the change of name. All of us here knew that it started from Challenge Cup. It goes to FA Cup, then we go to Coca-Cola FA Cup. Then later on it comes back to, we also have a time we call it ITA Cup. Last year we even also tried to see how we can have partnership, we tried to call it Tingo Cup. And then the issue of Federation Cup come up when the name of the FA was changed from Nigerian Football Association to Nigerian Football Federation. So it can no more be called FA Cup. That was when it was changed to Federation's Cup. So on the business that we are here today, as the minister said, that is why the ministry and the NFF decided to see that they use the name of the highest office of the land. We did not say it is the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Federation's Cup. And I think every single corporate organization would like to see that it partners with that kind of product. We are not looking at a sponsor that will come and take over the program entirely. We are only going to start looking for partners that are going to partner with us. And I think every single corporate organization would like to partner with a product that will bear the name of the office of the highest office of the land, because they know there's going to be a lot of mileage, a lot of visibility for them to showcase their product. So basically, we are not looking at getting a company that will take our name, but to make sure that we look for partners that will partner for us to drive this move, which GTI is very much ready to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for the answered questions and the questions from the gentleman of the press. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite Mr. Nelson Ines for the vote of thanks, and after this, I'll politely ask the gentleman on this item to stand for a group photograph with, yes, our document. Mr. Nelson, please step forward for the vote of thanks. Right after that, we'll do that photograph with everyone on this item. We can call it a group photograph such that everything we've done here of importance will now be documented in the rich, illustrious history of football in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On that note, let me stand on existing protocols. But also let me appreciate the presence of the Honorable Minister of Sports Development, the NFF President, and all other distinguished members on the IT room, and also members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to express on behalf of the board and management of GTI, express our appreciation and gratitude to everyone that has been working with us on the development of the sports projects in this country. It's been a very long journey, tumble. I mean, I don't even know how to express it, but it's been very adventurous and a lot of challenges, but along the way, we've always find a way to provide solutions to all the problems we come across. And we strongly believe the sport asset in any country is a very serious asset. The country is taken very seriously. So on that note, I want to thank every one of you to be here today and to once again express appreciation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now take a picture with the document as well. It will be nice to have GTI and the Honorable Minister hold this document hand in hand for picture's sake and documentation sake. Ladies and gentlemen, this picture represents the forward thinking of His Excellency the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the amazing thoughtfulness of our Minister, Senator John Honor. We thank you so very much, sir. We appreciate you deeply. President of the NFF, Alhaji, also we thank you kindly. The GTI GMD, we thank you very kindly. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sports, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the amazing lady Tinuke Wati. Nigeria, we thank you so very much for hosting this amazing feeling. Lagos, we appreciate you. And of course, we are absolutely looking forward to the exchanges, positive exchanges on social media, online, on newspapers, and every form of media across Nigeria. GTI thanks you kindly, the NFF thanks you kindly for coming. The Ministry of Sports, thank you kindly for coming. And definitely, the greater time for Nigeria is here. The President Federation Cup is official now. Thank you, members of the audience, over the gentlemen of the fourth estates and women as well. We dearly appreciate you. We wish for you that you enjoy the rest of your day. There's a bit of breakfast right there by the side of the hall. Enjoy the rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Quickly now go straight to football, where it is seriously looking so good for the Nigeria Premier Football League as it is right now. It's really been an impressive one, and organizers of the Nigeria Premier Football League, the interim management committee, in conjunction with GTI and Propel Sports Africa, have secured a $5 million deal to stream the league matches on digital platforms from 2023/24 season. The Nigeria Professional Premier Football League announced that the innovation had been enabled by world's most advanced artificial intelligence, making the league the first in Africa to deploy the technology. The point of the innovation is MPFL Live, a dedicated streaming app that will allow fans to enjoy live matches and exclusive content with seamless user experience for the football enthusiasts in Nigeria and throughout the world. Let's take you straight to what we brought back from this massive one, because it's really been an interesting and very, very encouraging league so far this season.
This is an opportunity, and it's the first in the world. It's not only the first in Africa, but it's the first in the world, that a soccer league, the Premier League of football, will have live streaming using the latest AI technology.
Without TV, sports is just an activity. television brings 90 to 95% of value to any sports property. And once you don't have TV, you don't have value. What you only have is just sports activity, people just running all over the place without value. But the moment you put television behind sports property, the value begins to appreciate significantly.
What we want is for our matches to be televised live, to be streamed live, and in about 100 countries in the world. So we have Nigerians in diaspora, and we have others who are interested in football outside Nigeria. We are not Nigerians. Whatever we are doing, they will be seeing it. So the target is for the entire world to see what is happening in Nigerian football.
Because at the moment you are not where you should be in regards AFCON and the positions, but there's no reason why in a few years' time, with the exposure and your coverage, that Africa, you're number one in Africa. That's the plan. You'll have better players, better coverage, better youth, better academies, better women. Everything will be affected because it's going to trickle all the way down. But that's going to take time.
That they are planning for a huge amount of money to be a maximum a player to earn like almost 1 million naira for their